So, what does this ice cream and fixing women have got to do with each other? So, I was on my bike ride and cycling along the river, and I saw the ice cream van, which is always parked there. And I noticed that there wasn't a lot of foot traffic, even though it was a beautiful day, but there wasn't much business for her. And I noticed that, I've seen the woman before. Maybe she's a single mom or something like that. So when I cycled past, I felt really sorry for her. And I thought, on the way back, I'm going to buy an ice cream because it's the right thing to do. It's a good thing to do because, she's got no business today. It's quiet. And, I want to do something nice for her. Now, on the surface, that looks really nice thing to do. When it's quiet, you help out, help your local businesses. But there was something more sinister. There's something more deeper inside, which when guys don't get handled, it can really ruin, marriages, relationships, and dates. When I came back, I noticed the feeling of like, why do I want to do this? Do I really want an ice cream or was there something else? So when I took a moment to really examine what I was actually experiencing, it wasn't the fact that I really wanted an ice cream. I was like, yeah, I can have the ice cream, take it or leave it. But what it was the fact that I felt really guilty that she's got no business. There's no traffic. There's no, she's not making any sales. She's not making any money. And inside of me was feeling this guilt. Like I had to provide and, save her, rescue her. Now, this is the same kind of things I did in my past, in my marriage, in my relationships as well. And these are the things that guys will do and then later on really regret, get some resentment, build up resentment because they feel this urge to want to rescue women, protect women through, sharing their resources. I remember when I was getting married, when I met my ex-wife, she had, credit card debt. And I felt like, hey, look at me. I'm the cool guy. I'm going to pay off a debt. I want to, start getting married with a clean slate. So I picked up all the bills. I picked up everything. I mean, she had a job too, but I just felt this need of like rescuing her, protecting her. And it came from a place of guilt. And it came from a place of purposefulness. Okay, this is what we need for the future. But it was this need to wanting to, rescue her, save her, like be this hero, like the hero complex. I wanted to be someone important, like I've done something of worthy. And I had this guilt. If I don't do this, then it was triggering shame that, I'm not a good person. I'm a bad person for not wanting to help someone. And what I was doing was inadvertently, I was kind of like projecting my own stuff on her. And just the same as the ice cream lady, what I realized was when I go through hard times in my business, I want other people to rescue me and save me. I want to be the one, like, hey, I'm really struggling. I haven't asked for help. I want other people to come and rescue me, even though like pick this up without even me asking for help and save me. So in a way, I was doing exactly the same thing. This is called like a covert contract. And I work with the guys in my coaching practice to really help this. So guys, when they have this guilt, and there's nothing wrong in wanting to help someone. The problem is that when it comes from a place of guilt and shame. So it's coming from a place of like you're trapped in this emotion and this emotion is running you rather than you using your head and your heart together and you're making a purposeful, conscious decision. But instead you're being ruled by this intense emotion of feeling bad, unworthy. I'm not great. I'm not a good person unless I do something. So, I've done this many times where I've taken on the emotion of wanting to rescue somebody else. So I'm taking on their emotion. I'm taking on their worry. And when you do that in a relationship, when I've done that in a relationship, it becomes very destructive because the other person doesn't have the freedom to one, understand what's going on in their world, for them to process it. Instead, I'm taking unrequited, so they haven't asked for my help, but I'm stepping in, helping and trying to fix them so they're in a really good state. So if they're in a really good state, then I feel good about life. I'm okay. I feel like, okay, I got rid of their tension, their worries. Now I'm a good person. Then I can rest and relax. What I've done is taking them away from wanting to, fix their own problems. So a lot of guys, what they do is they get into a relationship way too quickly, and they get, if she's really hot, getting good sex, they then start to fuse. They start to merge and fuse very, very quickly. And I've seen guys, even clients, who started to rescue women way too early without even seeing all the red flags. They would pay for her bills. They would pay for her house, her rent. They would pay even for her education. She wants to get a degree, and it's like, I know guys will just, I'll pay for every single thing. And again, that is not a problem. The problem is what's driving you, and the problem is timing. So I'm not saying that we don't invest in our partner. I'm saying that we invest in our family. We do. My only purpose is to help guys to slow them down and say, what is it that's driving that? Is it purpose? Is it that it's the right strategical thing to do as a couple? Or is it because you feel guilty? You're driven by guilt and shame. There's a lot of guilt and shame that might be, you're a failure. Maybe you didn't do enough in your childhood. Maybe you didn't do enough in other parts of your life. And you just have this chronic need to please everybody. So what is really going on there? So until you handle this shame and guilt, you'll be ruled by emotions that will be making decisions that you will later regret because of resentment and bitterness because you never got something back in return. So there may be a COVID contract. You want something back from them or the world. And when that doesn't come back, you're like, well, you know what? I'm such a nice person. I helped out. I bought this lady, I bought ice cream from a lady, and I knew that she was kind of like not having good sales today. So I helped out, and I'm hoping that somebody else will help me out. So when we have this expectation and those expectations don't come back, that's when it starts to build into resentment. And that when you have that resentment, then you become bitter, then you become more closed, and you're thinking, well, fuck you, I don't want to help anybody else. Then you go from one side of being completely cold. There's no in between. And that person who fluctuates from one side to the other side is very difficult to be around. And I know this because I've done this. I'm been very guilty of like, I'm going to give everything to you. I'm going to buy, like when you go out with friends, you pay for lunches, you buy drinks, and they don't ask about you. And you're thinking, well, I did so much for you and I want something back. So that resentment comes up. And that because you felt guilty. And a lot of people pleasers, a lot of nice guys just have this need to wanting to save and rescue everybody. They step in way too soon. And they don't have the courage to, even when you go out with friends and split the bill and say, hey guys, right, this is, $50 or $100 or £100 or whatever it is, let's do it. But they're like, oh no, don't worry, I'll just get this bill. Or when they do split the bill and somebody says, well, I haven't got any money with me now. Is it okay if I pay you later? And guys will say, yeah, sure, no problem. But they'll be too afraid to ask for the money. They'll be too afraid. And this goes on once and twice, and it carries on until it gets to a resentment point and you explode and you go, fuck, and you never paid back and you never done this. So instead of just building up all that resentment, really get to empowered place, get to a place where you have power, where you're choosing because it's the right thing to do. And you also have the power to say, yeah, you know what, I want to buy this ice cream, or I want to help out. And even if I don't help out, I'm still a good person. I still feel good about the way I am. So you need to be able to make sure that you feel good, whether you say yes, and you still feel good whether you say no. And the capacity to be able to say no is vital. And if you can't say no in relationships, in dates, with women and men, and in life, when you don't have that backbone, the nerve fracture, I call it, the nerve fracture causes you to lose your backbone, lose your frame. then you will start to build resentment. Then you start to get frustration. There's no assertiveness, there's no strong. And that's when women will start to disrespect you. Women will say, oh, he's weak. He easily caves in. And you're caving into your guilt and shame. So guilt and shame is one of the most important things to get handled, worked on, so you function from a strong place, not from guilt. Enjoy your ice cream.